Hey guys, Richard Aficionado channel and reefs.com. We're in the secret layer of ORA and we wanted to continue with our clam series, and this one is for beginner level species. And we're gonna talk to our friend Jordan here and learn all about the most easiest clam that you could ever keep, Derasa clams. Check it out.
Hello everyone, my name is Jordan. I'm here at ORA, Oceans, Reefs and Aquariums. We're here to talk about our Derasa clams, what makes them special, why should you have one, I'll tell you. One of the easiest clams to keep in the home aquarium is the Derasa clam. These guys are known for having a really smooth shell, beautiful coppers, bronzes, stripes, blotches. There's even a blue variety as far as coloration. But the most remarkable feature about these guys is how hardy they are. You can keep these guys in a number of different conditions. They're very, very forgiving. So if you're thinking about breaking into your very first clam, you've done mushrooms, you've done some cindularias, you're doing a good job, this would be a good clam to start with. All right, so Derasa clams are what's known as a bottom or sand dwelling clam. You can keep these on the floor of your aquarium. Prefer that rather than up in the rocks of your reef tank. These guys can take quite a bit of different lighting varieties, from the most intense to the more subtle. So again, if you are successful keeping mushrooms, zoanthids, your lighting will be just fine for these as well. Very, very hardy. I think most people really like these because they're relatively inexpensive when you find them in a store. They also are usually right off the gate a good size. As you can see, this is about what a 4.5 inch size Derasa clam looks like. But we find that we sell them just as well at a smaller size, somewhere around 2 inches. Now, you may be wondering, how old is a 2-inch Derasa? Well, this is actually probably about 18 months old. Very, very young. They grow very fast, much faster than a very comparable sized Maxima clam, which at that size would be closer to maybe 5 to 6 years. All your clams and all your corals, some of the most important things to keep an eye on are your alkalinity, your pH, your salinity. What's really important about calcium alkalinity is these animals actually pull that from the water to build a skeleton. Now, not as strongly visible as with some of your other species, the Derasa clam also will have little rings that indicate how well they're growing. And you can tell that if your calcium and alkalinity levels are good, you're going to get these nice big white bands on the shell. When looking for a clam at a store, Derasas are really good canary in the mine, so to speak. You can tell how healthy they are based on how flush their mantle is outside of the shell. You can see their reaction level. If you kind of wave your hand over the tank, do they pull in quickly? Are they really slow to respond? What you're looking for is a good, fast reflex. That means that the clam is very healthy. Also, if you get a moment, take a look at the underside of the clam and take a look at kind of the foot or bristle thread areas. If this area is missing, bad sign. If it's healthy, it'll be kind of bushy, it'll be real sticky with their threads, what they use to latch themselves on to the bottom of your home aquarium. So with most of the things in our hobby, pests are a reality. You may encounter them at some point. You'll lessen your chances of having a clam pest if you purchase some maricultured or aquaculture variety. Wild-caught ones can tend to bring them in more regularly. But things that affect clams are pyramidal snails. These are a very, very tiny grain of rice-sized snail that will affect the mantle region, the underside of the bristle area, and they will eat away at the clam. Now, you may only have one or two and may kind of glance over them thinking they're a piece of sand. They will quickly reproduce and overpower the clam. So it's always good to take a toothbrush, scrape them off, use tweezers, make sure you're inspecting your clams for those kind of external pests. So a lot of people ask, do you need to feed your clam? The short answer is probably not. The long answer is yes, go for it. They do actually take nutrition from several different avenues. Lighting is probably the most important. The brighter the light, the more they're able to photosynthesize. In addition to that, they will use zooplankton, phytoplankton as a kind of secondary source of nutrition. You can get these kind of over-the-counter products, douse your tank with it, and feed the clams. Feed your feather dusters, feed your sponges. It's very beneficial all around. So shell shape with a Derasa is a really distinct way of discerning what species of clam you're looking at. As I mentioned, they are very symmetrical. They're usually very smooth. Be careful, this part here can get very sharp, but they are pretty distinct in that all the other species of clams typically have large grooves or pieces of their shell that stick out called a scute. These don't have anything like that. You can see it's just very smooth, very flat. The only other clam that you might be able to mistake this for would be a Tridacna gigas clam. You'll notice that these guys also tend to have a very smooth shell, look very similar. Some of the distinct features of a gigas clam though are big waves or curves kind of in the shell itself. And you do actually see a little bit more of the texture of a scute or growth rings on these. All right, so if you're looking for an easy beginner level entry into the world of clams, your Derasa is probably going to be your best bet. We can help you find them. Feel free to contact us at any time. We've got a vast network of partners that we work with, both online and the brick and mortar. We'll help you get started on this great journey of keeping clams in the home aquarium. Hey, once again, thanks so much for watching. My name is Jordan. It's been a pleasure having you here with us. We'll see you next time.